The night before the discovery, Rick Lagina couldn't shake a strange feeling, as if the island itself was trying to warn him. Heavy clouds rolled over Oak Island, and the wind carried an unnerving hum, like distant voices trapped beneath the ground. But by morning, the crew uncovered an old, rotting entrance hidden under layers of roots and stone. It wasn't on any map, and no record claimed it existed. Rick insisted on going down first. As he descended, the light behind him faded, swallowed by the narrow passage. The deeper he went, the more the air changed, colder, thicker, almost alive. Then he saw it, a marking carved violently into the wall, not a symbol of treasure, not a warning left by past explorers. It was something far older and far more terrifying. This wasn't just another shaft. It wasn't part of the treasure tunnels. It was a place meant to stay hidden, sealed away for reasons Rick was about to understand far too late. And today, for the first time, we're revealing what he found down there. Before we continue, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon, because the secret buried beneath Oak Island is darker than anyone ever imagined. The first thing that comes to mind when we hear the name Oak Island is mystery and the search for treasure. This place is in Nova Scotia, Canada, and people have been digging here for more than 200 years. But, till date, no one has been able to reach the whole truth. People also call it the Oak Island Mystery, or the Curse of Oak Island, because it is believed that many of those who tried to get this treasure have lost their lives. It is said that until 7 people sacrifice themselves here, this treasure will not be revealed. So far, 6 people have died, and this fear makes this mystery even deeper. This mystery started with the Money Pit in 1795. Some young men saw strange marks in the ground on Oak Island, and when they started digging there, they found strange structures made of wood and stones in several layers. Something was kept at every 10 feet, as if someone had deliberately sealed it. As soon as they reached depth, the water suddenly filled up and the digging stopped. Since then, the Money Pit became the biggest mystery of the treasure hunt. Years later, the search turned to Smith's Cove. Here, too, the team found strange wooden structures, a drainage system, and old tools. Many people believe that all this was built to hide the treasure and protect it from water. Then came the Garden Shaft, which became the biggest digging site of Oak Island in recent years. Here, depth was reached using modern machines and technology, and the team got many such signs which clearly showed that something big was hidden below. Small artifacts have also been found many times in history, like a lead cross, old coins, and mysterious tunnels. These things strengthened the theories that not only gold and silver, but a very big religious artifact like the Holy Grail or the treasure of the Knights Templar may be hidden on Oak Island. This is the reason why even today, Oak Island is one of the biggest unsolved mysteries of the world. Now imagine if people have been searching for so many years and suddenly Rick Lagina finds an underground secret room. What would be hidden in it? This suspense is pulling everyone. Whenever the Oak Island team starts digging, they do not go down without preparation. Modern machines and the latest technology are always used. Even before the discovery, Rick Lagina and his team used ground-penetrating radar, GPR, and sonar. Both these machines basically work to look inside the ground. When readings were taken from GPR and sonar, the team got some strange and unusual signals. It seemed as if there was an empty space or structure under the ground. The readings repeatedly showed a strange pattern, lines like straight walls and a sign like a large chamber at depth. This made it clear that something unusual was hidden below. But these were not just readings of the machines. The workers also felt strange during the excavation. When the digger descended deep, the ground did not seem very soft, but uneven and sometimes hollow. Many times while drilling, the machine would get stuck as if it had hit a wall made of wood or stone. One worker even said that a different kind of echo was coming from below the drill, as if there was an empty space underneath. During the excavation, all kinds of technical troubles kept showing up again and again. The pumps kept breaking down repeatedly. Water suddenly started rising inside the pit, and the unexpected shutdown of heavy machinery turned into a major headache for the entire team. It almost felt as if the ground itself was trying to hide whatever secret lay beneath it. Many times, the excavation had to be stopped in the middle because the machines were overheating non-stop, or parts were snapping under pressure. Watching all this unfold, the team clearly understood that something was buried below. Something that someone had intentionally concealed hundreds of years ago. These strange readings and constant mechanical failures became strong hints for Rick Lagina and his entire team that they were now extremely close to a major breakthrough. And this growing sense of suspense slowly guided them toward that hidden underground chamber, which is now celebrated as one of Oak Island's most astonishing discoveries. As the digging on Oak Island moved forward, the atmosphere around the site grew even more mysterious. When the team noticed unusual GPR and sonar results, everyone thought that maybe an empty chamber or some kind of structure was buried deep below. But the real shock hit them when an unexpected shaft-like passage appeared during the excavation. While removing layers of soil, the workers noticed an area that looked completely different from the rest of the ground. A clear lining made of carefully placed wood and stone appeared, almost as if someone had intentionally carved out a hidden route centuries earlier. Everyone stood confused at first. Some workers assumed it might be a naturally formed cave, but Rick Lagina and the experts instantly realized that nothing about it looked natural. The walls were nearly perfect and straight, and the structure inside seemed deliberately designed. The big question was, could this be the work of an ancient group? Or was this the same man-made tunnel that had been mentioned in countless theories over the years? The camera crew captured everything, and even their reactions revealed how shocking this discovery truly was. The moment the camera lights were lowered inside the opening, a long, dark passage became visible. A rush of cold air came out from within, and the workers instinctively stepped back, staring at one another in silence. It felt as if a place sealed shut for centuries was being opened for the very first time. The workers themselves were stunned. Machinery continued to stall repeatedly, and as soon as this hidden passage emerged, the level of surprise doubled. Team members began whispering to one another, "What exactly is this?" And the expression on Rick Lagina's face made it clear that he sensed something monumental. This concealed pathway was about to completely change the direction of the Oak Island mystery, because if this wasn't a natural cave, then someone had engineered it with deliberate planning centuries ago. And if that was true, then it meant Oak Island wasn't just soil and groundwater. There was indeed some hidden treasure or secret buried below. The suspense had risen so much that everyone's focus was now locked onto this passage alone. As the team followed the hidden corridor further, the tension deepened. While clearing out soil and rocks, the workers suddenly froze in place because they saw something ahead that made everyone's heartbeat speed up. At the far end of the passage stood a door made of ancient wood and stacked stone. This was no ordinary door. The wood was old, rotting in places, yet the build was solid enough to reveal that it must have been constructed long ago with a very specific purpose. The arrangement of stones around it made it look even more like a sealed entrance, as though someone had tried very hard to lock away something important inside. The most astonishing detail was the strange symbols and carvings etched across the door. Some markings resembled variations of a cross, while others looked like coded patterns or ancient symbols. The workers and camera crew were absolutely stunned, because these symbols mirrored the old Knights Templar theories connected to Oak Island. Some believed the signs hinted toward sacred artifacts, while others thought they were part of a secret code. In that moment, Rick Lagina became emotional. After years of hard work, endless hopes, and countless setbacks, he finally stood before something that until now had only existed in legends. Joy and disbelief were both visible in his eyes. He slowly said, "We have achieved something big." The camera captured his words perfectly, and from that moment onward, everyone on site knew that the true secret of Oak Island was about to surface. The rest of the team couldn't believe what they were witnessing. Workers gently touched the ancient door. The camera crew moved closer to record each symbol, and the atmosphere became so intense that it felt as if the hidden chamber behind the door contained something capable of rewriting history. This door was not merely wood and stone. It was the key to the 200-year-old mystery of Oak Island. The moment the Oak Island team laid eyes on that mysterious door, a wave of excitement mixed with fear swept through everyone standing there. For years, countless theories had suggested that a secret vault or hidden chamber might be buried deep underground, and now that possibility stood right before them in the form of that ancient sealed door. But breaking it open was no simple task. The door was so tightly reinforced with layers of wood and stone that the workers had to bring in heavy tools and powerful machinery. All the cameras were rolling. Every person on the spot stood silently, holding their breath, as if waiting for the exact moment when the centuries-old secret would finally come to light. The workers first tried to push the door gently, but it didn't budge even a little. Then they brought crowbars, drills, and impact tools. The very first strike produced a deep echo from within the stone, a hollow sound that suggested an empty space or chamber on the other side. Hearing that echo, the astonishment in everyone's eyes grew even stronger. After repeated attempts, a chunk of the door finally cracked open, and instantly a burst of cold, stale air rushed out. It felt like the air trapped inside this hidden room for hundreds of years was escaping for the first time. The gust was so sharp and unusual that the workers instinctively stepped back. Rick Lagina stepped forward, gathering the courage to be the first to look inside. The camera crew directed their lights toward the opening, but the inside was filled with a darkness so thick and ancient that even the lights could barely pierce it. The smell of damp earth, old wood, and centuries-old dust made everyone freeze. Every team member stared intensely at that narrow slit from which the first glimpse was visible. The tension in that moment was so profound that not a single person uttered a word. Everyone's heartbeat raced because it felt certain that the true secret of Oak Island was finally about to be unveiled. A mix of fear and fascination shone in Rick's eyes, as if he himself couldn't believe that the mystery chased for generations was now actually opening in front of him. What lay inside this room? Treasure, artifacts, or a truth that could rewrite history? The suspense had reached its absolute peak. The moment a larger portion of the door broke off and the camera light reached inside, the Oak Island team got their first real look into the secret room. For the very first time, the scene inside felt like something out of a movie. The walls weren't made of ordinary dirt. Instead, they contained old carvings etched directly into the surface. Some marks looked like ancient symbols or coded messages. A few carvings resembled variations of a cross, while others appeared completely unfamiliar and deeply mysterious. Moisture clung to the walls, and patches of moss had grown over time. As the camera light traveled across the room, it felt as if the walls themselves were narrating a forgotten story of an old and unknown civilization. At that same moment, the team noticed something else unusual. From one corner of the chamber, a bright metallic reflection shone back at them. Even through the thick dust and faint mist, the shine was so distinct that every eye locked onto it immediately. Some whispered that it could be gold, while others speculated that it might be a piece of an ancient artifact. The atmosphere inside felt almost ghostly. As soon as the door began to open, a swirl of dust and thin fog drifted outward, creating the eerie sense that a secret sealed for centuries was finally unraveling. Everyone standing there felt like they were about to witness one of the greatest revelations in history. But along with that excitement came a subtle fear, because whatever someone had hidden in this chamber must have held enormous importance. The mixture of thrill and anxiety was clearly visible in the eyes of Rick Lagina and the entire crew. The workers stood back, holding their breath, while the camera operators stepped forward cautiously. The air was so heavy and silent that no one dared to make any loud sound. Everyone's mind was racing with the same questions. What is producing that metallic shine? And what could these ancient carvings actually mean? That very first glimpse made one thing absolutely undeniable. This underground room on Oak Island was not just another tunnel. Something was hidden here, something capable of shaking the entire world. As soon as the Oak Island team began examining the underground room, and those strange symbols started appearing on the walls, the entire atmosphere around the site changed instantly. The excavation area, which earlier had only workers, the camera crew, and a few experts, suddenly started getting tightened security. Workers noticed unfamiliar faces wandering near the dig site, people who were clearly not part of the show or the team. Security personnel dressed in black and officials with restricted access badges were seen circling the area again and again. Rumors spread like wildfire that perhaps the government had already been informed about the discovery. Many believed that Oak Island might not just hide treasure, it could contain artifacts that hold massive religious and historical sensitivity. If the Templars truly built a vault here, and if something like the Holy Grail or the Ark of the Covenant was hidden inside, then this discovery would no longer remain just a History Channel matter. It would instantly become the property of governments and global institutions. Tension inside the team began to rise. Rick and Marty Lagina started worrying that the excavation might be shut down at any moment. Even among the workers, whispers spread. Whatever we find, will it be taken away from us? The camera crew also realized that they were being restricted from filming certain areas. It felt as though an invisible authority was quietly monitoring every move. Rick Lagina repeatedly insisted that this discovery must remain public, that it should not be locked away or controlled. Yet, the increasing security presence made it clear that the situation had grown far more serious than anyone expected. Instead of excitement, worry began showing on everyone's faces, because if the government truly stepped in, the real secret of Oak Island might once again be buried, this time forever. And the moment news of the new Oak Island discovery slipped out, the internet exploded. Almost instantly, discussions erupted across Reddit, Twitter, and YouTube. Fans and treasure-hunting communities flooded these platforms with theories and speculation. On Reddit, people shared massive threads asking, "Did Rick Lagina finally uncover the treasure?" Some users even claimed that a religious artifact had been found and was being kept hidden from the public. Oak Island Mystery and Rick Lagina's name started trending all over Twitter. People posted clips, zoomed-in screenshots, and blurry images saying, "This is leaked footage. Look closely. you can see the metallic shine. One person claimed that it might be the Holy Grail. Another argued it was the lost gold of the Templar Knights. Many began theorizing that government officials had already intervened, and the truth was being covered up. Meanwhile, YouTube turned into a treasure hunt storm. Dozens of creators uploaded reaction videos and detailed breakdowns, analyzing the footage frame by frame. Many pointed out that the carvings clearly resembled Templar symbols. Fans began saying that the underground room of Oak Island could be one of the biggest hidden secrets in the entire world. And then came the memes. Someone jokingly shared Rick's shocked face with the caption, "When you find history instead of gold." Others made fun of government involvement. Government be like, "This is ours now." The discovery triggered a full-blown social media hurricane, with new theories, leaked images, and wild clues appearing every few hours. The biggest question circulating everywhere was, did Rick Lagina really uncover treasure? Or did he find a legendary religious artifact kept hidden for centuries? The suspense grew so intense that millions of people waited desperately for the next update. The moment the Oak Island team started inspecting the underground chamber and those mysterious symbols began glowing on the walls, the entire mood around the site shifted instantly. The excavation zone, which earlier had only the workers, the filming crew, and a few specialists, suddenly turned into a place surrounded by unusually tight security. Workers began spotting unfamiliar people roaming close to the dig, individuals who were clearly not part of the official team or the production staff. Security guards dressed in all black, and officials wearing restricted access badges kept circling and observing the area again and again. Rumors spread rapidly that maybe the authorities had already been alerted about the discovery. Many on the island started believing that Oak Island might be hiding something far more significant than treasure. It could contain artifacts with enormous religious and historical weight. If the Templars had truly constructed a vault here, and if something like the Holy Grail or even the Ark of the Covenant was sealed inside, then this discovery would no longer remain a simple History Channel project. It would instantly fall under the control of governments and powerful global institutions. Inside the team, tension quietly grew. Rick and Marty Lagina began to fear that the excavation might get shut down without warning. Even the workers whispered among themselves, "Whatever we uncover, will it even stay with us?" The camera crew also sensed the shift when they were suddenly told they couldn't film certain parts of the site. It almost felt like an unseen authority was silently watching everything. Rick Lagina kept insisting that whatever they found had to be revealed to the public, that the truth should not be hidden or taken away. Yet the increasing security presence made it clear that the situation was far more intense than anyone had expected. Instead of excitement, uneasiness started appearing on everyone's faces, because if the government truly stepped in, the real secret of Oak Island might once again disappear, this time for good. And the minute news of the new Oak Island breakthrough leaked. The internet blew up. Within moments, conversations erupted across Reddit, Twitter, and YouTube. Fans and treasure hunters rushed to these platforms with wild theories and non-stop speculation. On Reddit, people created massive discussion threads asking, "Did Rick Lagina finally find the treasure?" Some users even claimed that a sacred religious artifact had been discovered and was already being kept hidden from the public. Oak Island Mystery and Rick Lagina's name began trending everywhere on Twitter. People started posting clips, zoomed-in photos, and blurry screenshots saying, "Here's leaked footage. Look closely. You can spot something metallic shining." One person was convinced it could be the Holy Grail. Someone else argued it was the legendary gold of the Templar Knights. Many began suggesting that government officials had stepped in, and that the truth was being quietly sealed away.